This is CG Ruthless Sports. I will be brutally honest. Ain't nothing but being brutally honest. Coming at you with another video.
Hey, what's good, y'all?
Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, man, let's welcome the Bolt Bros podcast, man.
Woo! What up, man? Thanks for having us on, CJ. I really appreciate it, my friend.
No problem.
Yes, sir.
We're missing one member, but it's okay. The show goes on like they say. But hey,
Right.
it was nice of you guys to reach out to me, and unfortunately the schedule was a little off, and but hey, we're here now. That's all that matters, man.
That's right.
We're here
That's
for
right.
the aftermath. We're here for beat down, I think, more or less.
Man, one of those games,
Yeah.
like when we saw that game coming, man, realistically, man, I just thought, I actually had this game marked down as a loss during beginning of the season because we don't play good against you guys for whatever reason. But
it's crazy because this is the first time we beat us since 2000, basically. So it's been 22 years in the making that you guys finally. It's pretty insane.
It sure is, man, because this game it's going to be a tough one, man. I actually was thinking, man, how are we going to beat the Chargers? They just know how to play good football against the Niners. Even if we have history with one another, you look at the fact that it hasn't been since 2000 that we beat you guys, and it's been so long. But we got, like the great Steve Young says, let's get that monkey off our back.
There you go.
Good old Steve Young, man. And Kyle and I and Andy, we grew up in the Bay Area for a while there too. And, we did watch a lot of games. We were during the Super Bowl years with them. We were there. We saw the beatdown the Niners did to the Chargers in the Super Bowl. And it's a stud, man. I had a big, for that guy. He's a fighter, great left-handed quarterback. I always admire the game. And, Niners have had a history as a team, too. And so, obviously, he's got a lot of Super Bowls. We don't.
Something's going on with the reception. But don't worry, guys. He'll be back. Maybe it's
he'll be back.
Charge Bolt.
Yeah, he's got to charge up a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Yeah, man. So I kind of to finish his thoughts, so that's just kind of one of the things when it comes to the Niners, and the Chargers, there's a bit of a rivalry there, more so for our side to your side, because that the Super Bowl loss that we still had with you guys, still stings quite a bit to this day, so.
It burns, I kind of feel your pain, just like how we lost to the Chiefs and the Ravens. It just hurts more when you lose a Super Bowl, but you got to lose it twice to feel more pain and devastated.
That's a good point too.
The Ravens beating us in the Super Bowl was a devastating blow. Then the Chiefs, oh man, it's I don't know. I'm not used to this type of standard, man. Come on.
Right.
Apologize. I put it on this stream all of a sudden, guys. My bad.
It's okay, man. Just got to charge up a little more next time.
Yeah, man. You got to get charged up. Come on now.
Hopefully it doesn't happen. I don't know what's going on here, man. I don't know. I'm giving you guys the Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa shrug kind of situation there,
Yep.
The matchup wise, those brothers were supposed to face up, but I guess Joey Bosa, is he still out for the season, or is he kind of still out to return?
He's definitely not out for the season. It was a groin injury. He did a surgery on it, so that was supposed to be 8 to 10 weeks, starting on October 2nd. And so he's actually planning to come back to practice this week, and he should be potentially up to playing the game on the 27th for after the Thanksgiving week. I would say more than likely the start of December is when he's going to be actually back up and running again. So,
I mean, to be fair about this game, you guys were going through some injuries a lot worse than us. But, man, in the beginning of the first half, man, I was about to say, man, turn this damn TV on because you guys were going to kill us, man. But then the moment I started thinking, wait, we play second half football, so maybe we'll be all right.
Right.
Man, and the best is like we got a first drive, and that was I don't even know if we've even had one. I think that might have been our first one all season that we had a first drive touchdown. So
yeah, I think first drive touchdown, yeah. But we have had a first quarter touchdown only one other time against the Texans. So
yeah,
I was absolutely shocked. I think our first drive touchdowns not happened at all. You know,
it's wild to be able to see that. Like I was like, we look great. Herbert was looking great. He was throwing just dimes all over the field, like perfect looking game. I'm thinking, texting, I said, man, Herbert's healthy. He's doing his throws. So I think this could be a game we could find a way to win because preseason game is a loss. And I didn't expect to win on this one. I definitely didn't expect to win more when G came in. I said, hey, G is going to find a way to win on this one. For this, you guys played great second half football. Cut us out for the second half. You guys did what you're supposed to do, which is run the ball on us. And you got 8-10 yard rips every single run, it seemed like. I'm like, we can't sustain, especially with injuries we had on our D-line. We were the 3 D-line, like D-linemen, and they were stuck. They couldn't do anything. It was a wrap at that point. Harsh.
Yeah, like when we ran the ball, that was pretty much the formula that we needed to do. And that's what happened when you guys played Atlanta. Atlanta could have had a chance to win this game if they would have stuck with the formula too. And that was their big mistake, and we kept running the ball. But Elijah Mitchell actually outperformed Christian McCaffrey, man. That run, man, he's been running big plays, but he's coming off an injury, man. And just having Elijah Mitchell does make this running game a lot better, even with Christian McCaffrey. But if you look at the way how Jimmy play, I've been a little criticism with this guy, but I'll give him a little slack right now. You know, he didn't make any mistakes. He didn't pull a Dan Orlovsky. He didn't pull no Tony Romo, but he at least managed the game and did a little Jimmy clutch QB sneak for a touchdown, man.
Yeah, you know, it's so Jimmy G knows how to make runs, actually get the right drives at the right. I've always felt he's very much a game manager. Bottom line, it's your run game that destroyed us, which you guys got 200 yards on the ground against us. I'm just going to verify that. 157 yards. 130 yards passing.
But it was mostly in the second half that we started running pretty effectively.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we did a great job, like you said, containing McCaffrey, but it was Elijah Mitchell that pretty much just ran it for you guys. Destroyed from run. So, it was a crazy game. Tale of two halves. I'll say that, man. Tale of two halves. Completely different games.
I mean, first half, Chargers were dominating for sure. Then your injuries at the defensive line was kind of a devastating because the other guy that you had, what's his name? Obu something?
Yeah, so
Ogbonia.
I can never say the dude's last name.
We're not very good at pronouncing his name. Sorry to say,
Yeah. Oh man, I just call him OG a lot of the times. I think is what they end up calling him. So hey, we'll call him the OG. You know. But yeah,
it was call him Tito. Just call him Tito. Yeah.
Oh no. Tito. Oh, you're talking about Tito Ogbonnia. Yeah. Tito Ogbonnia, man, he was, he's a rookie for us, UCLA product, local guy for LA. And man, I was really excited to be able to see him start playing because this is going to be one of his first games. Really going to get out there and get things going. We're down basically now to, our defensive line 4 and 5 are gone now. We have edge 1 and edge 3. Just to say our offense destroyed and decimated. We don't have our receiver 1, 4, our RB2, our tight end 2 now. We don't have our left 1, our right tackle 1. I mean, they keep coming with this team. I'll say so about this game. Regardless, we lost, but the team is still fighting and giving a good fight around. I mean, hats off to the Niners just making things happen. But situational football this game, we did a pretty good job on the situational, like the red zone stops. I mean, that's one thing that even with the team that we still found a way to make a stop. Like, for instance, that late one in the fourth quarter when we went for it on the fourth down, and it was we had 8 yards or something on our goal line. We gave the ball back to you guys, but we still held you guys to not get a touchdown. You got a field goal. Still comparison, but that's pretty tough for any defense to want to hold somebody to 7 yards and not give up a touch, a banged up D line. So,
it is a lot tough because when you guys made that stop, I was kind of biting my nails and saying, man, you're giving the Chargers at least one more chance to go for that game-winning touchdown. Because anytime Herbert gets the ball or this offense going, man, dude, you guys can make a John Elway type drive and win this game. And I was like saying, dude, we better make a stop because getting a field goal wasn't good enough, man. Yeah, and I was just not feeling it, man. Like, we got to go for that touchdown to close it.
Right. And personally, if I was the coach, if I was your guys' coach, I would have just went for the touchdown. Because if you even if you don't get it, they have to go 99 yards at that point, or at least to get field goal.
That's what I was saying.
Just go for it. Like, I was kind of stunned that you would even give them the opportunity to be able to have a ball, run back a kick, to be able to even have a chance at throwing it. Now, once again, that pick that Herbert threw, I don't know, it seemed like some gust of wind or something from the Bay Area came through, because I swear the ball sailed away.
Yeah.
And I was like so thrown off. Like, what happened to that pass? So somebody with the force was in the audience or something and just pushed it to the side or something. And it is what it is. And the thing is, though, and I'll say this with this game and with these injuries, we don't want to say here's why we lost because injuries or anything. Not hard in that game. I was happy for that, for the team to see that with the team. But I kept saying in the broadcast, I think it was Collinsworth that said it. Chris Collinsworth said, hey, there's players that are out there and then there's plays that are called. It requires playmakers to make the play work. And if you don't have the players, you can't make the plays work at all. And for the Chargers, I mean, we didn't have our playmakers out there, and it was tough. It was tough, man, to watch. But it is what it is. We fought hard and everything like that. So,
yeah, you guys did fought hard. But speaking of this game, did you really guys felt that Herbert had a concussion or in any other way?
Kyle?
Personally, yeah, I mean, I can kind of address that one. I think he probably did get kind of a concussion a little bit on that, because obviously he was going down and in the defender was actually coming down at it. He wasn't. I don't think it was targeting at all though. I think it was kind of a BS call that he should get ejected for that. But it's just because, I mean that hit to the helmets, they're always going to rattle some socks off. In the same time though too, that the Derwin James hitting that going in for the receiver Ayuk, I think, right? Who caught the ball then fumbled it.
The fumble right there too, because that hit right there. That's what
hit his head and then hit the ball. So it's that was a pretty bad no call right there too, because that should have happened as well. But I do think that Herbert probably did get a type of concussion from that. Might not have been a serious one, not like a Tua Tagovailoa one that earlier in the season, where he got a wobble legs and stuff, But I mean, it was definitely a little bit, and I know just Herbert's just kind of no, I'm fine. I want to keep playing and stuff like that, So I think we're gonna have to keep an eye on that. What happens this week and how the injury report says about what Herbert said. And I'm actually curious to see what happens with Ayuk too, because that looked like a kind of a hit, and I think Derwin James might get fined later for it, because it looked like a kind of a helmet hit, for sure.
I mean, if they're going to do the same exact thing with Drake Greenlaw, at least try to do it the same way like you're going to do with all players. And even for you to say it as a Chargers fan for yourself, you even said that the Derwin James hit kind of seemed like it could have been a penalized, maybe not ejection, but just penalized, just because they're trying to protect players, right? So it's
because Herbert's a quarterback, that's kind of why.
Put the pillow.
Yeah, he didn't bring no pillows with him to the tackle, So give him a blanket and some pillows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's the thing that with that play is that they want to say that he's a runner at that point. He's not considered as a quarterback at that point, but he was back, and they kind of seem to protect him a little bit more. And to be honest, I think that play changed the entire dimension, especially for us second half and offensively, because that drive, I felt like we're going to score a touchdown on this drive. And I really felt like if Herbert was out there, which was kind of fun, I felt like that was a very, very quick check of if he had a concussion or not. And then Chase Daniels goes out there that hasn't thrown a pass in an actual game other than, preseason in years. And he throws 2 basically ducks and pretty much ends that drive for us to be getting a field goal. So I really felt like that play changed the game in a lot of different ways for us offensively. But it is what it is. I mean, for you guys, you lost a player. We basically got, Herbert out from that drive. And I feel like, once again, if they know he doesn't have a concussion, shouldn't he already be out there? Like, I mean, a play or two, I think, or a timeout by the coach wouldn't have been a bad idea at that point, just to be able to give a little extra time to check on that concussion so you could throw Herbert back in. So, hey, man, that was an interesting play that I think changed the game.
Oh, so you really think that the Dre Greenlaw hit was pretty much what changed you guys from going from a touchdown to a field goal? I mean,
yep.
I think that hit alone was kind of concerning. I mean, I get it. We got to protect our quarterbacks, but when you're considered a runner, when you're running,
yep,
it's all fair game.
All
but
fair
yeah,
game. Yep.
Yes, okay. Dre Greenlaw did hit the helmet area, but was it intentionally like targeting? No.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was at all. I think it was kind of a bogus call, in my opinion. But I think it's that fine line of, yeah, he's just a runner at that point. He's not a quarterback, but at the same side, he still is a quarterback. So they kind of like don't know exactly which way to go with it. Because once again, we're in that league right now where you guys are talking about, it's like that skit that they showed where they were showing how to hit a quarterback and how to be really, really nice with him and give him a pillow and a nice blanket, man. And don't put me down too hard on the ground or anything like that.
Like Kevin James.
Yeah. Kevin Hart. Yeah. And so I thought it was hilarious but that's kind of what it was. Like, regardless, he is a runner, but he still is a quarterback. So I think they still wanted to find a way to protect him.
Yeah. Like, I guess
it was a bogus call, though.
Man, just put a pillow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Might as well just put a flag. Might as well just put a flag on a quarterback. So in case if you can't touch him, just pull it down.
Yeah.
All right.
Jump it himself. Yeah, that's right.
That's the new league rules now. Yep. Flag football for quarterbacks.
I mean, they're protecting them too much. Like, I mean, in different eras. But when you look at it this way, man, I think personally, man, I don't know if any of your other receivers are going to return. Is Keenan Allen going to return the next game or no?
That's something we have no idea. He came back before the bye week against Seattle and played just for like the first half. And then, they said, oh, he was fine in the second half, which never came back. And then he hasn't came back since. So I don't really know. But based upon the broadcast last night, they showed that Mike Williams was out there kind of stretching and kind of just doing some light movement and everything. And he's saying that he's progressing more with his high ankle sprain. So my hopes is, and now that would be about 4th week going up to the next game next week, where that would be the earliest he would be able to come back. So I don't know. High ankle sprains are very finicky, just as much as Keenan Allen's hammy that he pulled, and he pulled for since week 2, I think it was maybe that he was last on the field. So it is a very finicky situation. If we don't have them against the Chiefs next week, I don't know how that game's going to go.
It's going to be a really tough one because Kansas City is Kansas City, and man, your defense is going to have to step up more. And I like how you guys were able to capitalize those turnovers. Maybe there's a chance you guys can limit them because you guys know them pretty well. So it's a strange division game, and it's going to be another Sunday night football. That's interesting.
That's right. Prime time,
right?
baby.
Yeah, and we will be there actually at that game too. So all the bros, all 3 of us, not just 2 of us, all 3 of us will be there. So either we'll be happy leaving that stadium, or we'll end up having another loss. We always say when we lose big. When we win, we barely win. So I'll take a barely win any day. So
I mean, it's a division game, and there's a way how you guys can figure out Mahomes. I mean, as long as you guys limit that game, but Mahomes is a different animal compared to the rest of the guys. I mean, but when you look at the way how they're kind of protecting quarterbacks now with the concussions, like it was unexpected when the Rams actually put Stafford out because of the concussion he was getting hits on. do you think this may lean towards Herbert later into the season or no?
Man.
I was a little worried about that actually with that hit that he had. I was like, well, I mean, because like I said, like I want to keep an eye on what's going on with him this week because it's very possible that he may have to miss a game because of concussion protocol. Because, I mean, and the same thing could be for Ayuk, because like those helmet hits, like they take those things seriously these days, because they are not something that should be taken lightly because obviously, like, look at Tua. He got hit after that 1 week and then again, and he, kind of freezed up, like, I mean, oh God, if that happens to Herbert, like season's done. Season's straight up done.
You don't want to ill afford that injury. You guys want to keep him healthy as much as possible. This guy's coming through a fractured rib.
Yeah.
Playing really hurt, but he's on my fantasy league, but
yeah,
this guy kind of like blew it for me. But I mean, lucky I'm still in good position because all I need is AJ Brown to give me like 15 points to win this matchup.
Yeah, and AJ Brown's been lighting it up this year too. So I mean, I have him on my fantasy team actually, team with Justin Herbert. And unfortunately, I don't think I need him to do anything because I think I already won the match. So it's just extra gravy onto the chicken right now, I guess, if you want to say.
Yeah, there you go. Question. Yeah, here's a good question by Corey Davis. Can you ask them how they felt about the Chargers moving to LA? I mean, you guys were just San Diego folks, and you guys were rooting for this team, and still is to this day. But what was the reaction when you guys found out about the moving to LA?
It's an interesting story and history behind that because it was a long-running history within San Diego, and I could give you a breakdown on that. It probably was a solid 12 years that the Chargers are trying to get a new stadium in San Diego. Multiple sites from basically downtown San Diego all the way up to Oceanside to various locations, and they were trying to find a way to get a stadium there. The city of San Diego kind of really didn't do a whole heck of a lot to really try to make it be a San Diego County situation, more just a city of San Diego situation through a vote, and that it did not go through with them. And so it's just a small like zip code of downtown San Diego. Do you want the stadium here or not? It didn't pass. Now, at that point, for the last 12 years before they moved up to LA, the city just never really gave them any hope at all. And at this point, it was, hey, move up to the number 2 NFL market, potentially get a hire of your team, go into a $1 billion stadium. You didn't have to put any money in. It was a win-win for them at that point. Now, do I want them in San Diego? Absolutely. Like, I want the Chargers to be in San Diego. Perfect stadium, great weather, perfect place to be able to have Super Bowls constantly. It's one of the best places weather-wise, great weather all the time. Not saying LA does not have that. They're the same kind of region. But personally, they're always going to be in my heart as San Diego Chargers. They're LA Chargers. I'm a fan of the Chargers, not a city-based fan. I'm a fan of the Chargers. So where they go, I go kind of situation.
Fair enough. Like if they move to a different state or other country, you just root with it, man. It's like that's just how it goes. Man, just for you guys to be like, what is it, like cross rivals with one another between the Rams and Chargers, man. What was that reaction of feeling when the Rams won that Super Bowl? It's like it still kind of pisses me off that we didn't get towards that goal, man. But man, it stinks.
Yeah, Kyle, we did a whole video on that, right?
Yeah, I feel like really, I mean, just to answer the question too, is like, yeah, 100%. I would rather them to be in San Diego as well, and have their own stadium and stuff. But right now, hey, we're living in a duplex right now, and we're basically like rent free. So yeah, it's a pretty good living situation if you ask me. So, and the stadium's beautiful, but the food sucks. Just an FYI, if you ever go there, the food is horrible, and the turf is apparently terrible because that is like injuring all of our players and stuff. So,
yeah.
Okay. I'm going to put that out there for my boy Ramilia and those other Rams fans. They talked about how nice SoFi Stadium is. I'm getting reviews from these Charger fans, and they're telling me differently. Rudy, come on.
Well, I mean, the experience of SoFi is second to none. I don't think there's any stadium that has a better experience as a football stadium. I've been to a lot of stadiums, football, baseball, basketball, various sports. I've never been to a stadium that is amazing as it possibly is. Now, once again, there there is an issue of how to get in and out of that stadium. There is the issue of food, which you've got great food everywhere, by the way, my man. Like that should be a layup to be able to get Pink's hot dogs in there and get all these like great, like established type places out here in that stadium. But no, it's like garbage food. That's why you go to Thunder Alley if you visit SoFi. You go to Thunder Alley, you enjoy all your drinks and all your food and everything there. You eat as much and drink as much as you want, and just don't do it in the stadium. Just go out and enjoy the game at that point in the stadium. But it is a tough situation, man. And it's funny because, Adam down there, how he brought up the whole thing about the San Diego State Stadium. I mean, what kind of like drives that a little bit harder in a Chargers fan is that that's the same exact site where Qualcomm was. Like, yeah, that's sad. Now that stadium is tiny, by the way. Like it's
so like 30,000 people or something like that for that stadium. It's like the soccer stadium that we played at for like a couple years before SoFi opened up. Yeah.
Yep. So
the StubHub, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a cool. I had no problem. Hey, how many times in your life you could ever be able to see an NFL franchise in a soccer stadium? Like 27,000. Like that's cool. Like it was a cool experience. I thought it was awesome. Everybody had a great seat. But it is what it is, man. I mean, that was kind of their move to LA up situation. We start in an apartment, now we're in a penthouse, So that's
complain about it, and all you gotta do is just pay a little small fee with the Rams. That's it. That's not much rent.
Exactly. I think it's like $1 a year or something like that.
Yeah.
That's living good rent right there. And the Rams,
hell yeah, especially in LA, bro. Jeez.
anywhere, $1 rent.
Anywhere, man. But like the food, so you're saying when you get the food over there, it's not as. But like the difference is, I've been down Levi's in different areas, and there's good places to get. But I've never been down SoFi, so I might want to experience a little difference over there, man.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, man, you guys fill that stadium every single time, man. And the thing is, though, like the fans out here in LA. Well, I'm not in LA. I'm in Arizona. Kyle's in LA. The thing about it is, Southern California, historically, Chargers games, I wasn't around when like the Raiders were out here or the Rams were out there initially. I don't know what the fan base is like where that Raiders fans travel very well, and they're always at every stadium. But Southern California is a destination, especially during the weather, that a lot of people want to find. Hey, there's an away game. Oh, what is it? Oh, LA, cool. Great weather. I could get out of the snow and hang out near the beach with 70-degree weather in November, December, whatever it is. It's a perfect place for anybody and everybody to just travel to. And so that's why even in San Diego, it was kind of a 50-50 situation, maybe 60-40 in favor of the Chargers. Every now and then, it's the same thing that's happening in LA. It's kind of a 50-50 kind of situation in fans. So that's just what it's going to be, and that's probably what it's always going to be, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, it's just it's like how you guys got to share a stadium. I get it, man. Like it's like being roommates in a way, or maybe just pay your little rent on that little small penthouse, like you said.
That's right.
We got our favorite guy on the show, John Jay.
Yo, what up, John?
What's up, John? How you guys doing?
Woo. Good times for the show, my friend.
Oh, and here's this Saints fan. I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to attend this football game, the Niners and Saints game. I'm going to be attending that game. Any of you Niner fans coming into that game, bro, hit me up. I'm going to be right down to the blue or green light, whatever the hell it is. I'll let you guys know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, what's your guys' tailgate situation out there for the Niners? Like, so is it pretty popping out there?
It's decent. Like, you get a pretty good amount of people tailgating. Like, around close to the stadium, there's different lot areas, but it's very limited compared to some stadiums.
So, like, I know for us, like with Chargers fans, they have a whole area, and I talked about it, the whole Thunder Alley area. And so that's in the pink lot at SoFi. And they tend to want to do this at every other away game. Like, say, for instance, the game here in Arizona against the Cardinals, we're going to have a whole tailgate out here, too. I guess they had one and a meetup in San Francisco, too. But going back to when you go to SoFi, they have a whole Thunder Alley there, and it's just multiple rows of just tents after tents after tents of people, giving out drinks and giving out tacos and food and all these things. Like, I had fresh baked pizza right then and there, and like tacos right then and there. Like, it's an amazing experience. It's not just for Chargers fans, for anybody and everybody that wants to show up. And I think some people just show up that are local, living in the neighborhoods around the area, just to be like, yo, let me go get some tacos and some beer, and like we'll be rolling around and having a good time. So that's kind of a cool situation with the Chargers like culture. If you do go to SoFi, for sure, check out the Pink Lot at Thunder Alley.
Oh yeah, for sure. I might need to check out Thunder Alley then. But shout out to a lot of the guys in the comments. Dion, which is Niner Game Podcast. You guys should definitely go check out this guy's channel. Very outspoken, very ruthless, like how I am, but he speaks it like it is. And he doesn't change his tune. He sticks with it, which you got to respect. And John Jay made a solid point. I think you guys are one of the toughest teams. Just the injuries are pretty much devastating, but you guys have a good record because of the depth chart you guys got. So I got to give kudos. The Chargers are still proven to be a good team despite the injuries.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that too. Is like, and that was the biggest thing that I got from this game though, is that we held the lead for about 53 minutes of the game, but that's just it. Like, like we got to play a full 60 minutes, So, and we, despite all of our injuries that we have this year, we still have a winning record. We're still above 500, which is a huge plus for us right now. And obviously, like, a lot of our players are not out for the season. And a lot of the players that we have stepped up in a big way because they kind of have to, because certain players are out for the season. But we got some good players that are coming right back. Keenan Allen, it's a week-to-week kind of situation with him. Mike Williams, obviously, he should be coming back sooner or later. And then Joey Bosa is coming back definitely at least by December, I believe. So there's a lot of things to say about our team. Is that, like, look, I was talking to people, other Chargers content creators, like we can't really be super mad about this loss because, like, despite our injuries, we put up a good fight. And, like we are, and I think a lot of ways too is like our coaching is actually what has helped us the most. Not the offensive coordinator. We kind of all want to, we kind of want to look for Joe Lombardi and put his head on a pike or whatever pretty soon, because he, obviously he's made some dumb calls, so I don't know, man. Like, it's really good to see the grit that our players are doing. And especially, but the biggest problem is that Herbert is carrying the whole team a lot of times. I don't know. What do you think, James?
Yeah, mostly. And I mean, the thing about it is like Herbert's trying to do his best. And I mean, once again, I could go down that list of all the injuries that we have. Now, and once again, I don't want to be these people saying, oh, because of injuries, this is where we're at and this is losing. I mean, these are all professional football players, but we realistically are playing with a lot of practice squad guys right now. Like, that is basically our team right now. I mean, even Brendan Fehoko came up offensive line, who basically got to this last game. I mean, he's a practice squad guy, and he basically just got called up. Now, Christian Covington went down with a pec injury. That's not good, ever. There's very, very few times that TJ Watt went down with a pec injury earlier this year, finally got his start, or actually restarted the game 10 weeks later, I believe, after the injury. So, once again, we got a lot of guys that we're just filling gaps in right now. Next man up is our mentality right now, and I mean, I will still be critical about this coaching staff. Kyle said it perfectly. Lombardi is kind of the guy, our offensive coordinator, that seems to be holding this team back. As we saw, tale of two halves in this game. Herbert was throwing some bombs and throwing some dimes, and that one sidearm kind of threw over to DeAndre Carter was just an absolute, just amazing Mahomes-esque type throw. Anyway, and he looked great, but once again, tale of two halves. This coaching staff in somewhere or another is keeping us in this position to have a winning record. And then in other ways, they're hurting us to have a better record too. So I think Brandon Staley's a stud. I think there's just some coaches that need to be shifted around.
I mean, when you guys hired him, he was just a one-year defensive coordinator. That was the experience. Right. He was coming from the Rams coaching staff, and I thought maybe the hiring was a little bit like a question mark, but he's kind of been okay on a certain extent, but you said, your play caller has kind of been, what is it, like Joe Lombardi, kind of very unpredictable with his play calls?
Yeah. So like last night, for instance, I kept noticing. So on our right tackle, which once again was one of our right tackle was out, Trey Pipkins, who's been really, really solid for us this year. And then they brought in Foster Sorrell, who first time start in the NFL as right tackle, guy that's been on our practice squad, kind of stashed back for some time now. First play of the game, what do? They run the ball to the right. Okay. All right. First off, why are you doing that? Nick Bosa's on that side too. You've got a right tackle that's first start of his career. Odd choice. The left side, you had Jamari Salyer, who is one of our rookies who's had multiple starts on the left tackle and has done well. We got also, oh my gosh, what's his dang name? What's the left guard's name? For some reason, it's passing my mind here right now. Filer. Yeah, Matt Filer, who's been a rock for us too and done really well. And then, we got Corey Lindsley as a center. Why are we not running it to the left? I don't know. I don't understand. But he did that multiple times in the game where he kept just going to the right. Not saying you can't be always just favoring one side or not, but why are you giving it to a guy where, you got Zion Johnson? I always say John Williams, and I get the basketball player mixed up sometimes with Zion Johnson. Zion Johnson, who's a rookie, who's been a rock for us on the right guard. But then you put Forrest Sorrell I can't talk today. Sorrell on the right side, and he's just getting destroyed over there. Like Nick Bosa's killing him. So I don't know. It's just those are the things that kind of make my head spin, because there's a lot of times that we'd either get 1 yard or 2 yards going to the right, or we'd get a loss of yards on that play. It just doesn't make sense. It's weird little moves like that you're just like, it's these first down runs ain't working. And it was a very consistent on a first down run to the right side. So those are the things that make me bang my head on the table while I'm watching the game here, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, played into your strength and you went to the weak side. So that was kind of an iffy right there. But I can see why Austin Ekeler wasn't effective as a runner, because you guys ran it on that side and that was just terrible.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. I mean, but the Niners played it perfectly.
Sorry about that. The phone, I had a notification. I tried to swipe away, but it was like, geez, yeah.
And going back to Austin Ekeler and why he didn't have a good game, I mean, the Niners played it perfectly. Don't let Austin be Austin. And that's the same game plan for us. We didn't want MC to be MC, and, McCaffrey didn't really be McCaffrey in this game. It was really, honestly, Elijah Mitchell that ended up being the guy for your run game. And so if you were to find a way and really, truly outside of Justin Herbert, the next playmaker was Austin Ekeler. And if you found a way to be able to hold him down, which you guys did, you guys will find a way to win. I mean, Austin Eckler's been on an absolute tear, and is potentially going to have 20 total touchdowns again this year, the way that his trajectory has been going this season. So he's a stud. So you guys played it right. You guys played it absolutely right.
That was the main focus in this game, is if we got to slow down Ekeler, because Eckler's your entire offense, just like how the Rams have Cooper Kupp. We got to stop your best player. And outside of that, I mean, DeAndre Carter was like your reserve player, like more of your special teamer, but he stood out and made one big key play, and then he did pretty solid for y'all. Like, not bad for a guy that's getting opportunities.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's special team guy. Usually he was only signed to be a wide receiver 5, I believe, maybe 4. But yeah, I mean, when Jalen Guyton went down for us, which is our downfield guy, who blew out his knee earlier, once again, another injury on this team. DeAndre Carter ended up being that guy. Now, we don't have speed on this team at all. I mean, Guyton was our speed guy. That's gone. And if you really look at like other teams that have a lot of speed, let's say we'll go back to the Dolphins and we talk about what Tua's doing out there. They have 3 of the fastest players in the NFL on that team. Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and then the running back.
Mostert.
Yeah. Who was on the Niners, correct?
Yeah, he was.
So, I mean,
healthy.
Yeah, that's the issue, man. I mean, health is a big thing, and that's what kicks players off teams and get them thrown to other teams. But speed kills, my friend. And Tua doesn't have the best of arm, in my opinion. He's just got accuracy as an arm. And he's just an accurate quarterback. But if you got speed guys, I mean, speed kills, my friend. And we don't really have a whole heck of a lot of that. I mean, we lost all that with Jalen Guyton. So DeAndre Carter's been doing well for us, but he's once again not that speed guy.
Yep.
No, he's not that speed guy. I thought he was like a 4.4 dude.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that's very much an overstatement in my opinion. I haven't seen that speed. I have not seen that speed. Maybe that's once again combine to me kind of like, hey, guys in t-shirt and underwear. It's the underwear bowl basically. It's easy to make a guy seem real fast that way, but when you throw a helmet on, pads, and everything like that, it changes.
Yeah,
you're adding weight to the situation. I don't
right.
think DeAndre Carter's that guy. Like,
And you're also adding obstacles too. I mean, the people are pushing up
exactly.
against each other. And like you're not able to actually get a straight line run. The whole time. So it's like the combine speeds are only as good as as what you might think. I guess it's like they don't actually have real world application to the game in a lot of ways.
Yep, I agree. But yeah, that's an interesting idea that, Carter is a true diamond in the rough for us. And he has been a blessing for us. I'll say that still, though. This season, he's been a blessing.
Yeah, that's true. 40 is the underwear Olympics. Yeah, it is.
It is.
You're not really showing nothing. Okay, the speed's all great and all that, but could it translate to the football field?
That's all it is.
I feel like honestly, I mean, a lot of people do put a lot of emphasis on like the 40 times, but I think with the better thing to kind of put emphasis is the cone drills and things like that, because they got to be able to do cutouts and like the route running needs to really be where like the focus should be on. It's like, okay, can he do this dead leg? Can he juke the guy and like can he get that space, that separation, even if it's just 1 or 2 feet? That's enough to actually make those huge yards after catch and stuff.
Well, and you go back to even your guys' legend, Jerry Rice. I mean, he was a 4.71 40, but arguably the GOAT for wide receivers. I mean, that guy was an absolute stud. Route runner, crispy. And I mean, route running kills too. Speed is, I get it. But if you got no route running, which you could even probably go down the massive list of Raiders wide receivers that they've drafted that are the fastest guys in the draft, and they just don't pan out in the NFL because speed can only go so far. If you can't route, if a guy bumps you at the line and you can't figure out how to be able to get past that bump to keep on your route, you're nothing. Sorry. Like, route running's major.
Yeah, for sure it is. Hey, shout out to CarCast, man. I guess he really respects the Chargers, but he's giving credit where it's due. Khalil Mack did dominate Khalil Mack dominated McGlinchey. McGlinchey's one of the worst tackles in the league. He's only a good run blocker, but personally, man, I don't know when McGlinchey is going to be benched, or at least at some point, man. Remember how I told you I criticized the center Jake Brendo? He's another weak link also, and I'm still not going to get off the case with him. I still want him to get better.
It's crazy, man. And it's funny because I had a couple of friends that are like Bears fans, and when we acquired Khalil Mack, they were like, "Oh, he's washed up. He's nothing. He's terrible now. He's too old." I mean, what is he? I think 31. As a linebacker, you think, okay, that's a little bit of time in the league. I get it. But you look at a guy like Von Miller, who just got $100-something million contracts at 33, still killing them. Like, not all players are created equal by any means, but Khalil Mack's a different dude. Like, he's a different dude. Just to say, like, even last night, as an example, how he went and got that sack, and next play, what did he do? Bull rush your right tackle, I believe it was.
Yeah, McGlinchey. Bam, pushed.
Man, I mean, he was just pushing him. He almost got another sack right off of that. Like, the guy is a different animal, man. When he's got his hands on you, it's over with. It's over.
Yeah.
With. Like,
I mean, there was a couple times that actually they ran the ball towards Khalil Mack's side, just like we ran the ball towards Nick Bosa's side. Yeah. And I was like, that's probably the wrong side to run to, So, like, I mean, like, and it kind of just always makes me think is like, are they running those sides because they feel like it was least expected? Yeah. Because, I mean, there's even some time that, Lombardi ran a jet sweep to Nick Bosa's side when Nick Bosa was playing wide 9. So he was like completely unprotected. So like they literally like ran it straight, jet sweeped him right to him. And I'm like, hey, are you freaking moron? Like, what, Joe Lombardi, what the hell are you doing, dude? Yeah. So like, I swear, dude, like we need to get rid of him. But like we talk about it a lot on our shows that like, it's probably not going to happen this season because it didn't happen before the bye week though. So like, I mean, we're just kind of throwing our hands up on that one. So.
And just to throw it out to the Niners fans in UCG. So we have Shane Day on our squad who came from the Niners. And so he's a part of your same system there in the Shanahan system and everything like that. You know, just to understand you guys and your guys' thoughts, I don't know if you have any information on Shane Day, but when he was there, I think he was just quarterbacks coach, I believe, there too. Still quarterback coach with us here.
Yeah, he was.
So, I mean, once again, he didn't call plays or anything like that, but do you guys have any like insight on Shane Day at all?
He was just mostly just coaching the quarterbacks. I don't know if he had any parts of the play calling or none of that. He was just mostly coaching quarterbacks like during his time. Like I know who you talk about, Shane Day. That was the guy that was coming off the Bears coaching staff we picked up, and then he ended up going to you guys at some point. But he's just a quarterback coach. I think he was a tight ends coach before.
Got it. And I think he's also passing game coordinator now with our team, plus his quarterbacking coach. So he's kind of like stepping up to go to that offensive coordinator role. And hopes was, hey, look, if you get a Kyle Shanahan kind of mind or Shanahan system-based guy, you know, heck, I'll take that system all day. Now, I mean, I don't think we'll be as heavy as like you guys are necessarily, because I think I'm not saying that Jimmy G is not a good quarterback, but I mean, Herbert's a different level type elite-based quarterback.
Yeah, he carries a team with less talent compared to what Jimmy. You got to give Jimmy all the talent in the world. Herbert doesn't need all that. He's already played with guys like DeAndre Carter. He's making them look good.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And I mean, the thing about it is like, you know, we would be a different type of offense, more passing, in my opinion, than running. But it's just a thought that we've always chatted about here, and specifically with the Bull Pro podcast about, hey, you know, if we make a shift, it's going to go to Shane Day for sure. So, yeah, it won't happen for this year, I'm sure. It'll be next year, I'm sure.
For sure. So how do you guys feel about, I guess this is another interesting question, Kyle Van Noy. Like, I guess he's a system fit linebacker, right?
Yeah.
So kind of a system fit kind of guy. I think it's also one thing about the Kyle Van Noy pickup, in my opinion, was bringing guys that have won championships with multiple teams, leadership quality. That's the one thing that I think that Kyle Van Noy brings. And I think he's a good locker room guy all around. You know, there's a lot of young guys on our team. JC Jackson, who was a guy who obviously is down with a patellar tendon for the season. Hopefully he comes back and be full health. That is not an easy injury to come back from. Kyle Van Noy is one of those guys, like I said, has good leadership quality. I think he's done fair with us. I don't think he's been elite by any means. My hopes was that Kyle Van Noy was going to be able to be an edge setter a little bit for us, which I think that's been lacking a little bit. There's kind of glimpses sometimes that we do really well at it, but at the same side, we're just abysmal against the run right now. But Kyle Van Noy's been okay. Okay. I wouldn't say great by any means, but he's been okay.
Yeah, to be honest though, I kind of feel like he has actually made a pretty decent impact on the team right now, because if he was not on the team, we would not have a decent edge rusher on the side that Joey Bosa was at, because obviously when Bosa went down, and then shortly after our backup of him, Chris Rumpf, went down, we have hardly anybody. But because Kyle Van Noy has the experience and the talent to run as edge rusher as well, he was able to fill that role. But granted, though, he is much better at pass protection than he is at edge rushing. So that is the downside of it, is that, like, he's not really doing super hot. I don't think he has hardly any sacks. He might have like a half a sack or something like that this year. But it's harder to utilize him in something that he's not necessarily great at. But I mean, I would love to see him back there doing more pass protection than anything, though. So
Agreed.
Yeah, and then you guys just recently, since CarCast brought up this interesting question, like, didn't you guys just cut Tillery?
Yeah.
You know, somebody brought that up. Somebody brought that up after the game. He said, man, the irony is that we're going to lose Otito to a knee injury, probably out for the season, in my opinion. And then we lose Covington, who essentially was going to take the position, or I should say both of them were going to be part of the rotation to take that position from Tillery. And then they're like, we just cut Tillery this week. Now, we'll give you a big breakdown about who Tillery is, in my opinion. We always call them speed bump. all the time. And he was about good for that and nothing more than that. I mean, if you look at his stats and you say, hey, man, he's got like a good amount of sacks and everything like that, he was like a pretty good on paper looking player. But at the same side, if you watch any of his tapes, there's a lot of times he got pancaked. And he's a big guy that just doesn't know how to use his size by any means. And he really wasn't a system fit for us, which I think ultimately that's why we end up letting him go, because I think he wanted to be utilized differently. And he's like, hey, man, like you're not in the right system then. And if you're not going to be a part of the system, hey, kick rocks, my friend. So really, really an odd situation for us to see that. Because, I mean, as our GM, Tom Telesco, he gives our first round picks as many chances as you possibly could get. And I think those chances just ended with them. So,
yeah.
It would be funny if we re-signed him all of a sudden, though.
No, get rid of him. That fool stinks. Yeah.
No, he's terrible.
It'd be kind of funny if we do end up picking him up, and then next year he ends up playing like a stud out there. We have
that's how it always works out for us Chargers. Like, like any ex-Charger player, like, we cut them loose because they're terrible, whatever. But then they go to the next team and then they just freaking lights out. And I'm like,
like Merriman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Merriman, baby, let's go.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's all good. I mean sometimes for the better or worse for them, sometimes it's just a system that doesn't fit them all. Yeah. I mean I looked at this player before and I say, well, this is what the Niners really like, is somebody with versatility who could do all defensive line spots. Yeah. But I don't know if we're gonna get him because another team can claim him. Maybe the Lions might claim him.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. My money is on the Colts, just because Gus Bradley was there when he was here with the Chargers when we drafted Jerry Tillery. So it's a system fit situation for him. I mean, the Colts, it's funny. I was looking at their stats as a defense this year, and they're actually like pretty good. But the thing is, though, Gus Bradley loves doing a lot of cover 3, a lot of zone-based type stuff, and then he just does that at the worst time of the game, and then ends up allowing the game to be a little bit more interesting. But once again, Colts, I'm putting my money on him. I mean, if you're looking at Vegas bets, that's probably where he's going, and it's probably number 1, in my opinion.
Makes sense.
Yep.
But yeah, no, he was when the comment was saying that he's actually pretty much a good playmaker, and that could not be further from the truth, my friend. That fool, I think he made like 1 sack in 5 years with us. So, he just was not the guy. In fact, truth is, there was a preseason game that I saw him and Bosa standing next to each other. And Bosa was side-eyeing him the entire time, like, when they were kind of standing there, and it kind of made me think, I was like, there's something up with this dude that maybe Bosa and him are just not gelling well together. Yeah. And it made me think, I was like, okay, I think there's something wrong with this guy, just from that body language alone. And sure enough, my gut was right on that. And so it feels like, Tillery may have just been like a kind of a stick in the mud the entire time with with the team. So, I mean, and here's the other thing too, is some of the people are saying, oh, well, there was a lot of interest on him or whatever, because he was a first round pick and truth is that's a damn lie as well, man. Because here's the thing, if he was actually going to get some kind of traction or whatever like that, we would have gotten that 2 years ago. If people were interested in him, we would have traded him off 2 years ago, but we didn't. And the Chargers probably shopped him around a lot, but no one was interested in him at all. Yeah. So that's just the fact of the matter is if he gets another job somewhere in the NFL, good for him. Bad for the team. That's all I got to say.
I think his interest might be very little, like you said. It has to depend on the people who know him, and plus, you don't have to give up some draft compensation for this guy. So, pay him for a cheaper deal.
Yeah, I think if anything, we might get a compensatory pick or whatever because of him or something like that. Though, maybe, I don't know. I mean, the fact that we didn't get any trade or any trade bait off of him, that signs trouble to me.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it was interesting. Once again, if you watch any of his footage of him, I mean, he is a very one note kind of guy. He doesn't have like an extra move if he gets into trouble or anything. It's more just like, hey, I'm going to bull rush you. And I'm not going to try anything more. I'm not going to try to push you to the side or anything like that. There was very, very one-note type base player, and he got dominated. I would probably say 75% of the time, it seemed like. And a lot of times he'd be on the ground. I mean, the dude's 6'6", like pretty good size kind of dude. He just could not find a way to be able to use his size to his advantage ever. So sorry, we went on a Jerry Tillery speed bump rant there.
Oh no, hey, we got rants for days on that dude. Yeah, good rant. Get him out of here.
I gotta check
get with the chemistry
rants on Bean Spanos and to Telesco. I guess I heard those ones are like most Charger fans don't like is Telesco mostly, right?
Yeah.
You know, and the thing about Telesco, man, like Telesco is a guy that there's kind of a side that you feel like he might just be a yes man. And, you know, you tell me what I need to do. Okay, cool. I'll do that. And he got hired in very young as a GM also too. And so once again, with a lot of the hires, the past 3 hires that we have basically under the Telesco era, you know, Mike McCoy, Anthony Lynn, and, you know, Brandon Staley, they're all first year kind of guys. And so they're all new coaches to this position and they're all trying to figure it out. We were stunned to be able to see Anthony Lynn with the Niners last night. We're like, was that Anthony Lynn? Like that's the guy that was our head coach, man. He was a running back coordinator for you guys. And so, which, you know, look, Anthony Lynn to me, like, I think he was a good coach, a very good motivating coach. I think it was just in-game decisions were the issues with him, but I think he's a very good coach. And obviously, as you guys see, your run game is looking real good, I'll give it the Italian.
Really good.
Hey.
Really good. No, but I think he was like the only time he was there with you guys. He did win you guys a playoff game, wasn't it against the Ravens? Right?
Yeah. That was a wild game. I did not expect us to win that one.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson, you went bam.
Yeah. Oh man, dude. And the thing is that we started that game out where we were just all over him. I mean, it was like we were suffocating the guy and making him look bad. And that was it was Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa just having a field day going after him. And then they became late in that game trying to get their way back into it, which is the Chargers' way of making it interesting. Don't allow blowout games to happen or anything. But yeah, that was a wild, wild game. But yeah, we did win one with him. That was his 12-4 season, and did really, really well for us that season. But it just never seemed to materialize from that point. And like as his last season in 2020, when he drafted Herbert, you know, he was Tyrod Taylor. He's going to be our guy. He's going to be our guy. You know, medical injury basically with Tyrod getting the punctured lung from the pain injection. Be pregame, and then all of a sudden Justin Herbert comes out against the Chiefs and plays extremely well and keeps the job at that point. To me, like there's a side of a coach where you need to understand what talent's at and what talent is the best for you to win. And then also when that talent is on the field, you need to figure out who's your best player on the field and get that ball in their hands and keep that ball in their hands. And so why I'm saying that is during the 2020 season, he loved to kick field goals when once again Justin Herbert was clearly your best player on the field. Go for those 4th downs. Try to make those extra effort type plays to be able to keep the ball in his hands versus going for a field goal where we tend to miss all the time during that season. So that's the fault of Anthony Lynn, in my opinion, that he just didn't understand talent and who are the guys that need to keep the ball in their hands. So sorry, I went on an Anthony Lynn rant. I feel like we're going through a lot of history lessons here, guys.
Pretty much, I guess. But I know it's kind of getting close to the 1 hour mark. I know you guys got some stuff to do, but I want you guys to tell the audience where they could find your channel and tell them what your guys are all about.
Yep. I'll let Kyle take that one.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So we run our own YouTube channel here on the tubes, you know, we're Bolt Bros podcast right there, like the tag. But you can also find us on Instagram, Twitter, you know, TikTok a little bit. I don't really do too much there, you know, but we're also on, you know, Apple, we're on Google, we're on Spotify, we're on Pandora, we're on Anchor, Stitcher, all the different places for you know, podcasts itself. We put our content out there regularly. And here on YouTube, you know, is where you can get the most latest and greatest up-to-date stuff because we're a YouTube first channel, but we do put this stuff everywhere else. We have multiple different things in content. James and my other brother Andrew, they like to do a little bit of news breakdowns during the week in like about lunchtime, about like this time. And I used to do something later on the night. I'll do like some Madden simulations. I'll watch like highlights and just kind of talk about things like that, and just kind of BS a little bit at night, just kind of when I'm winding down, getting ready for bed. But yeah, we out there, and we do some funny content on Instagram, and we should be sending it over to TikTok too. But I don't know, TikTok community is weird, so I kind of skip that part. So
that's an okay type of platform. I use it sometimes, not all the time.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. So
hey, best of luck to your Chargers. Hopefully you guys make a spot for the wild card or something, because I know the Chiefs are what they are. But man, it's a fun time, and maybe down the road we could definitely collaborate, man, because I like what you guys are doing. I checked out a couple of your guesses, and I gotta say, there's some great guests right there on your channel, man. You got to check out some of their podcasts where they interview some content creators and actually have their own opinions of their team.
Yeah, man. We try to keep it fun, keep it light. We like kind of an type show. I just like to be able to kind of have a basis, obviously, about the Chargers or the opponents. We love to be able to just chat football all around, man. I don't just sit there and just be that one note kind of guy where I'm just going to look at the Chargers. I look at anybody. And I do even some fantasy football tips too during the week on Instagram and everything too. So I'm a big fantasy guy. And I think I've gotten some of those fantasy tips right through the season, hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tip something because I want to win me a championship.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Right.
And the thing is, though, man, my history, I've won multiple championships. So I think I have a pretty good feel of players and matchups and such. So keep it on our Instagram. I'll do that every week on fantasy matchups and such too. So. But man, we love being on the show, man. CG, it was great, man. It was a great time chatting with you. We love chatting with you. Hope you guys have a great season. I think you guys got some great momentum going on right now too.
Yeah,
you guys are getting healthier right now, which is phenomenal to see. And once again, we like watching the Niners from a distance too, man. I mean, like I said, we obviously have a soft spot in our hearts for the Niners too.
I have a lot of respect for the Chargers, and sometimes I like to see what you guys like to do sometimes. But we can all agree we can't stand the Raiders.
Oh, right. No doubt, dude. No doubt.
We always say three things when it comes to that. We just always talk about family, trust, and respect. And and it means something a little bit different, if you're not saying. But of course, I could just tell you guys, it just means straight up, fuck the Raiders. Shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hate them. I'm glad they're out of the Bay Area, by the way, man. They don't need to be there. Get out of here.
I'm glad they're out of the state. And actually,
California.
But my last thoughts is this though too. It's like a lot of times, I always just tell people, look, there's only really two teams in California, and that's the Niners and the Chargers, because they've never left the state. Sure, they move stadiums a little bit or whatever, but these are the true California teams. Niners have never left Northern California. Chargers have never left Southern California. This is it. Unfortunately, the Chargers aren't that much of a winning team. And as you see, Southern California is very fair weather fans, full of that, So we just got to get more fans in the stands and more people to support the Chargers if they like Southern California,
Yeah, for sure. But hey, thank you guys for being on the show. And as always, guys, CG Ruthless and the Boat Bros are out, man. And definitely go check out their channel, man. Really good content. It's down to the description.
Yep. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Looking forward to it, guys. Yeah, please jump in our chat and check us out, man. But love being on your show, my man.
For sure, man.
All right.